Did you know that the Milky Way's central clouds have a rum-like aroma? This is not a video that you are going to watch. It is a collection of odd facts. We selected the best ones from among them and brought them to you. Sorry, I almost forgot to mention that your zodiac sign is probably incorrect. Join me as I explore some interesting astronomy facts. Your turtle may watch, and it will be astounded to learn that some of its companions have flown around the moon. Did you know that the Milky Way's central cluster of clouds has a rum and raspberry scent? The discovery of amino acids in interstellar space is considered by astrobiologists to be the holy grail because it would increase the likelihood that these molecules could have been used to seed life on distant worlds. The largest dust cloud in our galaxy, Sagittarius B2, produced thousands of signals that astronomers sorted through in the most recent surveys. While they were unable to locate any evidence for amino acids, they did discover a molecule called ethyl formate, which is the chemical that gives raspberries their flavor. Curiously, ethyl formate also smells like rum, which makes it stand out from other substances. Did you know that the weight of the entire human population would be equivalent to about 1 teaspoonful of neutron star? The density of a neutron star is astounding. Neutrons are crammed closely together in a small radius, making up practically the whole mass of these stars. The weight of the whole human population would be greater than a teaspoonful of this material, which would weigh over 1 trillion kilos, which reaches a few 100 billion kilograms. The whole human race would have to fit into a space the size of a sugar cube in order to create something as dense as a neutron star. The gravitational pull of a neutron star is typically 2 billion times greater than that of the Earth. In fact, it's powerful enough to considerably distort the star's radiation through a process called gravitational lensing, which enables scientists to glimpse some of the star's reverse sides. The star rotates extraordinarily quickly, multiple times in a second, thanks to the force of the explosion that gave birth to it. Neutron stars can spin up to 43,000 times per minute, but they progressively slow down and eventually stop being seen, ending up in the so-called pulsar graveyard. Did you know that since its discovery, Neptune has only completed one orbit around the Sun? The vastness of Neptune's orbital distance from the Sun. In actuality, this distance is roughly 30 times more than what Earth's distance from the Sun would be. The eighth and farthest planet from the Sun is Neptune. In 1846, Neptune was first seen. The blue gas giant has only finished one circle around the Sun since it was discovered. Did you know that we shall bid farewell to Polaris sooner or later? Our North Star, Polaris, won't be leaving us for another 12,000 years, at the very least. When it does, though, the star Vega will take its place. Why? The rotation of the Earth is the key factor. The North eventually changes to other stars as our planet's axis shifts over the course of a very long 26,000-year cycle. It won't be the first time Vega takes center stage in our night sky. For several thousand years prior, it served as the North Star. Actually, your zodiac sign is probably incorrect for the same reasons. Are you curious as to why? Be sure to like or dislike the video so that we can continue to develop and make these films better for you, the viewer, before learning why your zodiac sign is incorrect. Every new moon, the Sun appears against a different constellation, roughly, with the stars providing a background for the Sun. Even though the stars are not visible during the day, by gazing at the night sky, you can determine what constellation the Sun is in. You may observe the opposing constellation there. But the precession of the Earth's rotational axis, which causes astrological signs to diverge from the zodiac, is the fundamental cause. The Earth's equator gently bulges due to its rotation, much like how a skater's skirt fanned out as she spins. The Earth quakes like a top because to the gravitational force of the Moon and Sun on the bulge. Over a period of 25,800 years, the wobble makes the Earth's axis, the center line around which it rotates, swing slowly in a circle. The constellations appear to slide to the east by around a degree per human lifetime, changing how the zodiac appears to us on Earth. Hipparchus of Nicaea made the slow discovery of precession with the naked eye in about 150 BC. The vernal equinox, or the first day of spring, was in Aries in ancient times. It entered Pisces due to precession approximately 100 BC, remained there until 2700 AD, when it will enter Aquarius, and so on. It will finally return to Aries, and the cycle will start all over again in 25,800 years. Do you wish to know which constellation the Sun was in on the day of your birth? From here, you can start counting April 19th through May 14th in Aries, April 19th to May 24th, June 21st to July 20th for Gemini, and so on. You can see that your zodiac sign is most likely incorrect. Did you know that turtles have orbited the moon before? The Soviet Zond program's Zond 7 was a probe, studying the moon and the space around it, taking color pictures of the Earth and the moon from various angles, and testing the probe systems were all part of the mission. The trip carried a biological payload that comprised turtles, wine flies, mealworms, plants, seeds, germs, and other living things. A 175 centimeters tall, 70 kilograms mannequin with radiation detectors was also in the pilot's seat, according to the Russian Academy of Sciences. The craft was intended to be a testbed for crewed lunar spacecraft. It was the first successful Soviet Earth circumnavigation operation. Did you know that the moon is moving away from us more and more each year? Laser ranging is used in the continuing Lunar Laser Ranging Project or Apollo Landing Mirror to gauge the separation between the moon's and Earth's surfaces. Astronomical observatories on Earth use lasers to study retroreflectors placed on the moon during the two Lunocode missions, as well as Apollo programs 11 and 14. The length of the round-trip laser light pulse transmission and reflection to Earth is measured. This value is used to compute the lunar distance. The moon is spiraling away from Earth as seen, doing so on average at a pace of 3.8 centimeters, 1.5 in, every year. Did you know that, when viewed from Earth, planets in the solar system do not twinkle? Because stars are so far away from Earth that they can only be seen as pinpoints through powerful telescopes, they twinkle. Additionally, it is simple for Earth's atmosphere to obstruct a star's precise light. Every single stream of starlight that enters our atmosphere is refracted by the various temperature and density layers, causing it to slightly alter direction. Instead of the straight course that light would take if Earth didn't have an atmosphere, you could imagine it traveling in a zigzag pattern to human sight. Because they are closer to Earth, planets light more continuously and appear in our sky as little disks rather than pinpoints. If you used a telescope, you could view stars as pinpoints and planets as disks. As it moves toward our eyes, the light from these tiny disks is also bent by the atmosphere of Earth. However, while light from one edge of a planet's disk may be compelled to zig in one direction, light from the other edge of the disk may be zagging in a different direction. Planets appear to shine evenly because the zigzags and zags in a planetary disk cancel each other out. If you locate planets low in the sky, you might be able to see them twinkling. This is thus because gazing toward any horizon involves staring through more atmosphere than looking up at an object. Stars and planets would both shine steadily if they could be seen from space. There wouldn't be any atmosphere to interrupt the constant flow of their light. Can you distinguish between stars and planets by observing which objects twinkle and which do not? However, if you can identify a planet in some other way at first, you might be able to discern the steadiness of its light by contrasting it to a nearby star. Experienced watchers can usually do this. Did you realize that NACA existed before NASA? In order to supervise and oversee the scientific research of the problems of flight, with a view to their practical solution, the National Advisory Committee for Aeronautics, NACA, was established on March 3, 1915. The group, which included notables like Orville Wright, was at the forefront of technology in the early years of flying before being eventually absorbed by NASA in 1958. Do you realize that? Nobody struck it rich in space, right? According to NASA, no humans have ever engaged in sexual activity in space. Since there is no gravity in space, Newton's third law makes it difficult for people to engage in sexual behavior. The pair must separate if they want to follow the law, since their actions will conflict. Consequently, until they are impacted by another, unattached object, their activities won't modify their velocity. Drifting into other things could cause some problems. Collisions could happen if the couple is moving at a combined velocity in relation to other objects. There have been theories that conception and pregnancy in situations outside of Earth would be problematic. The subject has gained respect in the biological sciences as of 2009, when NASA began planning long-term missions for lunar settlements with the aim of exploring and colonizing space. Stephen Hawking, a scientist, stated publicly in 2006 that surviving the harsh environments of space may be necessary for human survival. Do you realize that? Is the Andromeda Galaxy the only extragalactic object that Northern Hemisphere residents can view with their own eyes? You can see anything 2.537 million light-years away if you can see the Andromeda Galaxy with your unaided eye. You must first locate Cassiopeia if you wish to try to locate it. At dusk and in the early evening, Cassiopeia is low in the northeastern sky. As the evening progresses into the late night, it rises. Late at night, high over Polaris, the North Star, Cassiopeia can be seen. Keep in mind that the W has a deeper notch on one side than the other. Your arrow in the sky, pointing to the Andromeda Galaxy, is this deeper V. Do you realize that? At 70 kilometers per hour, how long would it take a car to go to the closest star? The distance between us and Proxima Centauri, the star closest to us, is still 40,208,000,000,000 kilometers, or around 268,770 Australian dollars. Astronomical units, or AUs, are no longer generally used when discussing distances to stars. Instead, light years are. Alpha Centauri A and B are about 4.35 light-years away from us. A light-year is the distance light travels in a year. It is equal to 9.461 by 1012 miles. Proxima Centauri, at 4.25 light-years, is a little closer. If we were to utilize the car year, which is the distance covered in 1 year by a car traveling at 70 kilometers per hour, we would discover that it would take approximately 65.570.776 3 car years. Here's where the video ends. Thank you everybody for watching. Did you understand every detail here? What is the strangest astronomical or space fact you are aware of? Do you want to hear anything else? Please let us know in the comments section below. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you on the channel again soon.